7 o'clock, we had number 24, Mississippi State, who's 5-2, coming off a heartbreaking loss. Traveling to number 6, Alabama, who could write a book last week about how heartbreaking that loss was. He was 6-1. Alabama favored by 21 points on ESPN. I don't know about that, but Will Rogers for Mississippi State struggled last weekend, but he still has some amazing stats. He's gone 228 of 320, thrown for 2,324 yards, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And while he only had 1 touchdown, 1 interception day, it's worth noting that even in a day where he struggled, he still passed for over 200 yards, right? Like, that's still a pretty crazy day. To be fair, he already almost threw the ball 40 times. So again, this is a very interesting situation for Mississippi State, because you hired Mike Leach for this, right? He finds a quarterback he likes, goes air raid with it. So it's going to be interesting. Let's go over the stats real quick and then give my analysis of the game. Dylan Johnson for the Bulldogs has 68 carries for 407 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rara Thomas has had 22 catches for 383 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bryce Young for Alabama has gone 125 of 186, thrown for 1,657 yards, 16 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And he shows what he brings to the team against Tennessee. While they ended up losing, that was not on Bryce Young. Jahmyr Gibbs on the ground has had 88 carries for 635 yards and 5 touchdowns, and Ja'Cory Brooks of the air has had 18 catches for 302 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, by the way, is a traitor, and I miss Trayshawn holding these nuts. I miss him so much. I wish he was up here. I really love making that joke every week. Alabama leads the series 84-18. Just absolute domination by the Crimson Tide. Last 14 games have gone to Bama from 2008 to 2021. Last Mississippi State victory was in 2007. The last time they won at Bama was in 2006. To give you an idea, I was probably 2 the last time they won that. That is insanity. But regardless, this is fitting to be a very interesting game despite the spread, right? Both these teams are coming off hard losses. The Mississippi State game where they really couldn't get things going offensively against Kentucky. Well, that might not be the greatest news in the world. Alabama's coming off a game where they couldn't stop anything defensively. And my friend YJ was like, yeah, but Alabama's going to come back. Nick Saban's going to be mad, and they're going to dominate Mississippi State. But we said that about Texas, like, right? They're going to come out. They're going to be upset that they almost lost to a Texas team. It's going to be a wake-up call. It wasn't a wake-up call. They almost lost to Arkansas, and then they almost lost to A&M. And that was the other game I was like, this is going to be a wake-up call, right? Like, you almost lost to a bad A&M team without their starting QB, with no offensive line. And you almost lost that football game. You should have lost that football game. That's going to be a wake-up call. And then just this weekend in Tennessee, it was not a wake-up call, apparently. Alabama's pass defense is so awful. It is bad. And I don't know how much of that is just Jalen Hyatt's awesome, but I think we saw some of that against A&M. And when healthy, Quinn Ewers was showing some of that against the Longhorns. And of all the teams you don't want to have a bad pass defense against, Mississippi State is probably number 1 on that list. There is not a lot of teams you would like to have that isn't going to take advantage of a bad pass defense like Mississippi State has the capability of doing, right? There's a reason why Will Rogers has thrown for 23 touchdowns this year, which the only only 2 players who kind of match that is Drake May for UNC and CJ Stroud for Ohio State. Like, that is how insane Will Rogers has been this year. To be fair, he struggled against LSU, and he struggled against Kentucky. And I don't know what that means for him long term, but he did not struggle against Arkansas. And Arkansas was a team that kind of gave... it doesn't have the worst pass defense in the world. So I think this game has the possibility of being really interesting. I've been kind of spot on in my picks this year for Alabama. Weirdly enough, and despite a lot of people getting theirs wrong, I picked Alabama to win the Texas and A&M game. But I did pick Texas and A&M to cover, and I picked Tennessee to win. So, I mean, I've been doing pretty well on Alabama games this year. I think I'm going to throw it away here. But I like Mississippi State in the upset here, right? I understand they're not getting a lot of love for this upset, and I understand why. But the fact is, Alabama's pass defense has been atrocious all year. And it's just that does not line up well with how Mississippi State plays football. If you want to win this football game, and I like Mississippi State to win in a shootout here. Give me the Bulldogs on the road, just ending the Crimson Tide's hopes at the playoffs.